So today we're going to talk about 4 words that have helped me to close millions of dollars in sales. And those four words are this: if I would you. Okay? Now, if I would you. This is what I call a trial close. So we're talking about freight broker sales training today. This is a sales strategy and tactic that I've used for many, many, many years, even prior to being a freight broker, right? When I had previous businesses, when I had my software technology company, as well as other businesses. And it's still a strategy that I use today for consulting, coaching, and other businesses that I have where I have products and services that I sell. So this concept of if I would you is what's called and known as a trial close. Okay. Now, a trial close is a question that is designed to take the temperature of your prospect and see how ready they are to buy. Okay. So again, a trial close is a question that is designed to help take the temperature of your prospect so that you can understand how ready they are to buy and move forward with you as a customer. Okay. So the if I would you is my favorite trial close. So let me explain to you, there's a couple of ingredients that you need to understand about if I would you. Basically, the framework of if I would you is, if I do this, would you do that? Okay. So if I do this as the salesperson, would you as the customer or prospect do that? Okay. So that's the framework of if I would you. Now, there are a couple things you need to do in order to leverage this type of a trial close or any trial close. Number one, you need to build strong rapport. Right? You can't meet somebody and then 10 seconds later say, if I would you. You need to invest some time and energy and resources into that process, into that prospect. It might be 1 call, it might be 2 calls, it might be 3 calls before you're using this type of trial close. It depends upon your ability to build rapport. Number 2, it's asking a question and it's asking for a soft commitment, not a hard commitment. This is not a close. This is a trial close. So it's not designed to ask them to become a customer or for the order. It's a soft version of a close. That's what I kind of consider as kind of a soft close or a trial close. Okay. So let me give you an example of this in real life as a freight broker. Let's say, for example, you've gotten on the phone for the first time with a prospect and you guys hit it off. You got a lot of great rapport. You're talking, you're laughing. You've had a 5 or 10 minute conversation. They're going to give you a bid package that you're going to provide some rates for them and some other information that they've asked for. And it's the end of the phone call and you have an opportunity to use this trial close. Here's how the trial close might look. This is just an example of if I do this, would you do that? So here it is. If I can come back with fair pricing, fair rates. Now, I'm not promising the cheapest, but fair. Would you consider giving us an opportunity to prove ourselves as a new logistics partner? Zip. Listen, right? You've heard that before. If you've heard my sales training before, when you ask a question, zip your lip and listen, right? So let me phrase that again. If I do this, would you do that? All right. If I can come back with fair pricing, I'm not promising to be the cheapest, but fair. Would you consider giving us an opportunity to prove ourselves as a new logistics partner? That's an example of a trial close in that situation. Okay. The situation where you've gotten on a phone call, you've built good rapport. They're willing to give you like some lanes or a bid package of some sort that you can quote on. This is a trial close. Now, the good thing about that is that you're not trying to close them on that call. You're just trying to take their temperature. Remember, that's the goal. Take their temperature. That's what trial closes do. It doesn't close the sale. It's a pre-closing strategy. So you're getting small commitments over time. And so there's only 3 answers that they can give you to that question. Yes, no, maybe. Okay? That's it. Yes, no, maybe. Yes and maybe are both good answers. That gives you a read, gives you a sense as to what's going on with that prospect. What is their temperature? If they say yes, they're hot. If they say maybe, they're warm. If they say no, they're cold. Now, again, all 3 of those are good. And you might say to me, how is no good? Well, no is good because if it's a no to that question, then they probably just saved you a whole bunch of time and not doing all kinds of rates in a bid package and submitting it back to them. Would you rather them say no and then try to figure it out on that call? Or would you rather have them, if the answer would be no, but they give you a bid package because they feel guilty, and then you go spend 2 or 3 hours putting a bid package together and give it back to them so that the answer is still just no? You'd rather know early. So that's where trial closes come in, to take the temperature of your prospect. So if the answer is yes, then you say, fantastic, I'll get these rates back to you in the next 24 or 48 hours. We have a scheduled call to talk about these rates on XYZ date, right? If the answer is no, it doesn't mean no forever. It just means we have to dig a little bit further. And so it warrants asking a follow-up question. All right. So here's an example of what the follow-up question might look like after asking that trial close and then getting a no answer. They may say, no, we just wouldn't be interested in that. And your answer should be, I appreciate your honesty, John. One more question before I go. How does your company plan to overcome the recent capacity and rate volatility in the market? Zip, listen. So that's an example of a follow-up question that is designed to try to understand the answer, the no answer that they gave you to your trial question. So a while ago, I did a training about the power of asking good questions. These are examples of questions that you ask in an effort to understand your prospect and understand where they are in the buying process. So again, I'm gonna read that to you again. The answer he said was, no, we wouldn't be interested in that. And so your reply is, I appreciate your honesty, John. One more question before I go. How does your company plan to overcome the recent capacity and rate volatility in the market? That's a perfect question, because what it does is it clarifies his response of no. He may say, we're not having any challenges. In which, if they're not having any challenges, then there's probably no opportunity. At that point, you would simply thank him and ask him for permission to follow up down the road, 30, 60, 90 days, and get his permission. If he says yes, great, mark him for a follow-up. Or he may say, well, we have had a few issues in this lane. I kind of forgot about that. And it will help to clarify and open up opportunities. So let me summarize. Number one, what is a trial close? A trial close is a question that is designed to take the prospect's temperature to help you to understand how ready they are to buy. My favorite trial close is, if I do this, would you do that? Okay. If I would you, that's all you got to remember. All right. And their answers are always going to, and the phrase that, that example that I gave you is, if I came back with fair pricing, not the cheapest, but fair, would you consider giving us an opportunity to prove ourselves as a new logistics partner? All right. And then their answers are yes, no, maybe. Yes and maybe are great. You now have taken the temperature. They're either hot or warm. No is cold. Now you need to ask a follow-up question to clarify why. Okay. So that's an example of a trial close. There are tons of trial closes that you can use as a part of your sales process, as a part of your sales cadence, as a part of your sales strategy, as a part of your sales follow-up. Some of them are designed early. Some of them are designed a little bit later. Some of them are designed depending upon the level of rapport or complexity of the relationship and of the solution that you're providing. But ultimately, trial closes are very powerful. And If I Would You is my favorite trial close. It has helped me, again, to generate literally millions of dollars for my freight brokerage millions of dollars in my other businesses as well. Again, I've done over $200 million as a freight broker and entrepreneur. And I think this type of a strategy will really, really help you if you learn the basic framework that I shared with you today. If I would you, very simple, leverage that type of strategy once you build some rapport, once you build some rapport, and make sure that you're asking for a soft commitment, not a hard commitment, right? So that's where that soft commitment came in, is would you consider giving us an opportunity? I didn't say, would you buy from me? I said, would you consider giving us an opportunity? That's the soft part. So I don't want to regress, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. And for those of you that are curious, right, about becoming a freight broker or freight agent, make sure you check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. Again, we have a 60-day, 100% money back guarantee, trained over 8,000 students in the last 10 years. And I'm the only freight broker trainer in the world, I can promise you that has done over $200 million as a freight broker, grew my brokerage with no experience in logistics to over 80 million in sales, and then later sold that for millions of dollars, right? So ultimately, that's what makes me different. That's what makes the training different. And I hope you guys check it out. So again, freightbrokerbootcamp.com.